Yo, what's good? Big Z here, and today I'm going to show you how I made my new single called Alive. If you haven't heard it, here's what it sounds like.
You make me feel alive.
Alright, so this is the project file for the track. So the track starts out with some acoustic guitars playing that sound like this.
Yeah, tried getting over you.
So those aren't real acoustic guitars. I actually programmed them in Contact. So I actually did all the acoustic guitar work in a separate project file, which I'll go to now, and I'll show you how I made those guitars sound realistic. Alright, now we're in the other project file where I did all the guitar stuff. Here's what all the guitars sound like together, because it's a couple different layers. So they're all Contact guitars. Here's what the first guitar sounds like. And the second one is just playing the bass notes. And then here's what the third one sounds like. So this third guitar is the jazz guitar in the Contact Factory library. And the other two guitars are both the nylon guitar in the Contact Factory library. And how you make them sound more realistic is all to do with in the MIDI file. So in the MIDI file, I messed with the velocity of all these notes and got them to go off grid a little bit to make them sound more realistic. So after I recorded the guitar part on my keyboard, I selected all the notes, and in Logic you can go to Functions, MIDI Transform, and then Humanize. And what this will do is randomize the velocity and position on the grid of the notes to make them slightly off grid, just to give it more of a human feel. So I did that with these, then went a step further and went into this velocity editing tool. Then I just went in and took a long time to edit the velocity of a lot of these notes to make it sound more realistic. So if I want a certain note to be accentuated, I'll just turn the velocity up. So after editing these guitars for a while, that's what I got. Another thing I did to make them sound more realistic was just add this fret noise track beneath everything. So now that I've talked about the guitars, let's jump back to the main project file where I have everything else. So there's not much else going on during the verse besides her vocals and a piano that comes in halfway.
This thing, no, I don't know if we can say less. Been down this road before, now we're back for more, and I don't know where it can take us, but you made me feel alive. You made me feel alive. Oh.
Alright, so I'll mute her acapella for a second here. Get into how I made these tropical Pluck sounding things. So the Pluck is really 3 layers. It's a bass layer, then 2 chord layers. The first layer I just made in Serum. Sounds like this. It's really just a simple saw pluck sound. In the effects section, all I have is a formant filter on there. Then I'm EQing that sound a little bit and rolling off the high end and some of the lows to make room for the bass. Then what gives it that tropical feel is this Nexus preset I have above that. And it's a marimba patch from Nexus. So one cool thing you can do in Nexus is make the chords sound like they're strumming on a guitar or something with this feature right here. So I just left it about 6 because I just wanted the subtle effect. For processing on this synth, I have some OTT compressing it and also some EQ cutting off everything below 500 Hertz and above like 5000 Hertz. And then I have some echo on there to give it some more space in the mix. Then underneath those two chords is just a basic saw patch I made in Serum. So throughout the build-up, there's some more things going on too.
You make me feel alive. You make me feel alive.
So first of all, I have this Electro Art that has the filter opening as it builds up. So I'm using the arpeggiator function in Logic where you can make any chords into an arpeggio. Then this sound is just a Serum Patch. It's just a plucky saw sound. So what makes that arp so effective is it's layered with a build snare that has the same exact rhythm as that arp. Alright, now let's get into the drop.
You make me feel alive.
Alright, I'll start with those huge saw chords I made for this song. So here's what they sound like by themselves. And I made these in Serum, and it's just two saw waves, and one has 7 voices of unison, one has 6. And the one with 6 is an octave above the other one. Then I have this envelope that's really just opening the cutoff of the filter up all the way, and it's also affecting the white noise level over here, which I use bright white noise for. Then in the effects section, I have some dimension expander, phaser, chorus, and a little bit of a formant filter on there as well. But the phaser is really what gives it a cool sound. So I'll do it without the phaser, then add it in. Then below all that, I have a saw bass, which is really giving the song its rhythm. And you can see to make the bass sound smoother, I've pitch bended the notes into each other down here. So that bass is just a saw bass in Serum that I think I've showed in some other videos that I like to use. It's just a basic saw wave, 1 voice of unison, with this shaped envelope right here. So how I made the vocal chops is I just took parts of the acapella that I thought would sound cool and put them in this sampler right here, this EX24 sampler. Then what I did was spread out the notes across my keyboard down here so I could pick a melody and then change around the notes to see what would work and what wouldn't. So now I have all those different vocal chops at my disposal to use to make a melody. And this was the final one I came up with. For processing on those vocal chops, I have the CLA Vocals plugin, adding some compression, a little bit of high end to the EQ, and widening up the stereo field a little bit. Then I also am using this J37 tape saturation plugin, which makes them sound more distorted and gritty. And a good way to introduce your drops is take the chord at the beginning of your drops and reverse it and make it go up to the main chord like this. I've showed how to do that in a bunch of other videos, so I won't do it here, but it's a good way to just build up tension and make your drop hit even harder. Nothing's really different in the second half of the drop, there's just some more drums that come in. Here's what all the drums sound like. So yeah, it's a pretty basic drum beat, standard like house drum beat with some shakers and stuff on the 16th notes in between. The second verse and second build up and drop aren't really that different from the first one, so I think I showed you guys really everything you need to know for for how I made this song. So I hope you guys enjoyed some of the behind the scenes of how I made that track. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and Spotify below, and you can check out the full track on Spotify as well. It just came out a couple days ago. Other than that, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.
You make me feel like